In this video, I'm going to show you how to systemize your entire business by having a client-centered approach, meaning that each task and everything we do on our day-to-day will be tailored around our client or our customer. While this might not be the only way to do it, it's a proven approach that has helped many of my clients to grow over 7 figures and regain control of both their business and their personal lives. Everyone can do this. It's crazy simple. You don't need to be an expert in process mapping or procedural writing or have some crazy mystical talent in flowchart design. If you can write down a shopping list and you can follow a cooking recipe, you are probably overqualified to do this. Simplicity is really important when it comes to process designing. You want to try and avoid jargon, fancy words. You want to make it as easy as possible to understand. And ideally, this can be approached by someone with a 3rd or 4th or 5th grade reading level. Now, systems and processes are never set in stone. They are designed to be improved. And what we want to do, we want to design these systems and hold them somewhere where they can be easily accessed and improved and modified, edited, because they will have to change. So there is no point in recording this extensive video on how to do something if you cannot edit that video further down the track. Now you might be confused. Systems, processes, policy, procedures, flowcharts. For the sake of this video, we're just going to get rid of all of that and just think of it this way. We need to go from point A to point B, where point A, it's a trigger, is something that tells us we have to start something, and point B is the outcome that we want to create. And between these 2 points, there will be some tools and resources that will help us go from one to the other. Most of the times, this process will be broken down in really small, actionable steps, where each step will answer the question, what comes next? Now, you might ask,
yeah, but hey, why do systems matter?
That's because they allow us to produce a consistent outcome. They also allow us to produce a predictable outcome where we know exactly what's going to happen as a result of a certain action. They also allow us to improve because we document something, we can measure something, then we can improve what we measured. And also, as we scale and we accelerate with our business, having systems in place will allow us to do more reps faster and better. And the best part about this is that once you have an overview of all the systems and processes that comprise your business, you will easily identify what can be automated, like invoicing or booking appointments, and what needs a more manual approach, more manual effort. That can be a creative task or some customized customer support. Now, let's jump right in and I will show you how to do it. Please feel free to follow along, pause the video, slow it down, and try to adapt it to your circumstances, your industry, and your business type, okay? Let's go. Okay, now, first of all, we want to write down each step of our client journey. Now, for demonstration's sake, I'm going to take as an example a service-based business in the healthcare industry, let's say a physiotherapy business, a physical therapy business. This journey won't be much different from any other service-based business like a lawyer or a plumber or an accountant. So I feel it's pretty safe to take this as an example. Of course, it's going to be different, but there will always be like some steps that are related. And you might find that also some of these steps are actually related even to your business. I'm going to make things up, so some of these might not apply to the physiotherapy world, but I feel it's pretty safe because I'm familiar with this industry, so things should look pretty fine, okay? Now, note this is just a sketch. It's not official process mapping, so I'm not going to follow any type of convention. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to follow a thought process that I believe it will make sense for you to follow along and understand the concepts. Okay, so let's write this client journey. Let's say physiotherapy business. Now, what happens in a physiotherapy business or any other service-based business? Usually the client learns about us, and this is through some marketing activities. Then what happens? They are prompted to invited to take an action. So they might client send inquiry. Now at this stage, what we want to do, we want to, so actually client learns about us, the inquiry is received. Now let's say that the client is asking for more information or a proposal or a quote. Let's say like quote sent or more information sent. And then what's going to happen after? Basically, they will sign the quote or accept the quote or reply to our information email, say, all right, let's go ahead. So quote accepted. When the quote is accepted, we might want to book an appointment. So appointment booked. Once the appointment is booked, usually physiotherapists have like some sort of onboarding form, intake form. So let's say like intake form received. And then after the intake form is received, we will say that like there's a welcome process and a boarding process started. So welcome onboarding started. Once the onboarding is started, we will probably deliver our services. The client will come in and actually receive service. So service is delivered. Once the service is delivered, I believe we want to get paid, and then payment is received. Once payment is received, we might also ask for feedback. So feedback requested. And then in this process, we could add an extra step or add it into this step. But let's say that once the feedback is requested, if the feedback is positive, then a Google review is requested. So by putting it in, we know that every client will go through this process, and we will always ask for a Google review if that is something that it's important for your business, and I believe it should be. All right, so this is the skeleton, the outline. All right, now that we have the outline, we can dive deeper into each of these steps and see what tasks are associated with each of these steps. And then remember that for all the tasks, there will be some sort of document or process attached to it with some task owner, some stakeholders, some frequency information, how often it's done, and etc. etc. So let's go ahead and let's say the client learns about us. So how does the client learn about us? There will probably be some marketing activities. So how to post a blog on WordPress, how to schedule a month worth of social media content, how to run paid ads, how to reach out to cold stakeholders via phone, etc., etc. Okay, so we will have like a number of marketing activities that will help us to this step, which means the client will learn about us. Okay, next we have the inquiries received, and this is something that might probably involve your customer service team, your ops team, how to reply to an email. frequently asked questions, how to respond to the phone. Now again, I'm just putting them down there, but they might not necessarily apply to your business, and you might feel like this is not really necessary because you have these systems really nailed down. You might have them already documented, or you might not need them because your admin team is capable. And again, this might be a bit controversial. Even if it's capable, you might still need a process, because there will always be a time when someone less capable will have to step in. But that's another conversation. Let's say these three things now: how to reply to an email, how to respond to the phone. So this, more likely there will be like a phone script, some email templates with an index and all the questions that you might get asked, so the admin can copy and paste them into the email browser, the email client, and just send them out. Now the quote is sent, more information sent, and this is basically, so what happens here, we might how to send a quote, or how what else can be here, how to send a quote, how to calculate service costs. These are all the steps and all the information that someone needs to be able to perform that step. Okay, now quote is sent and then is accepted. So when the quote is accepted, let's say the quote is signed, so we might how to send signed copy to third party. They might deal with some insurance schemes, and they might need to send like a copy of the proposal so they can get funded. How to let me think about it. How to update our CRM with new clients, or maybe update marketing information. So I shouldn't be putting the how, because this is actually really a step, but I'm putting here the how so you understand that this step will then basically involve a written process that will instruct whoever owns that task on how to perform that task. So this will be the outcome. So the outcome will be we are running successful ads, or we are running our social media content. But then there will be an SOP or a process that will go inside this task and explain with a step-by-step, with some extra information, templates, screenshots, there might be videos or external resources on how to perform that task. So the appointment is booked, update the calendar, update, let's say like update a calendar, or send appointment reminders. And again, as you can see, you probably might already be thinking, oh, this is all stuff that like could actually be automated. So yes, sending appointment reminders sometimes, most of the time, is just like an automatic process, but you want to make sure that it's there because it's an important part of the process. Now the intake form is received. When the intake form is received, we might, I don't know, add them to email marketing, add to email marketing list, and maybe inform the therapist that there will be a new client. And this might be like a handover where the admin or whoever's receiving this information sends the information over to the therapist for just to let them know there's a new client. This is the intake form, this is their information, so you are prepared, that you are ready to provide the greatest service you can provide. The onboarding is started, so we might send them a welcome pack. So how to send a welcome pack, and the welcome pack might have some information that will help the business for retention rate. So we might send maybe a email sequence. So how to send how to trigger or maybe how to start an email sequence, because Again, once the onboarding started, we will have some information about the client. We will know what they're struggling with. Maybe it's back pain, so we might have some back pain related email sequences. So before the client comes in for the appointment, they will receive a weekly email or a twice a day, 3 times a week emails about that specific condition. So this will help build trust for the business and also help with rebook rate and retention rate. Now, services delivered, this is a bit tricky because usually the service is delivered by someone that has got some certain skills, if it's a plumber or a physiotherapist or a lawyer. So there isn't much to really document about the process unless you really want to write a manual and you want to write like a uni course, and that is not the case. We're trying to simplify here and to delegate, so we're not trying to really create that sort of volume and information. Okay, so we might still have like a checklist here, so assessment checklist. Maybe the first session they will have some certain questions they want to ask, and then maybe we have like some other like discharge checklist, and this is how they can ask for extra question and more questions that will help them to again build more authority, build trust, form a rapport and a relationship with the client, and increase the chances of rebooking. Payment is received, and this might be, I don't know, how to process point of sales payments, or how to process like insurance payment. And again, here, when the payment is received, there will be also like all the bookkeeping systems and the bookkeeping tasks attached. So because not everyone like gets paid on the spot. They might just send some invoices to an insurance which pay with 7 or 14 days term. So how to reconcile against payment remittances. Then we will have some feedback, how to ask for feedback after the appointment, and maybe how to send a Google review request to client. Now, as you can see, this is just an outline, and there are some information there. It's not very comprehensive, but this exercise again is very important because it will allow you to see visually what each steps are and where you are lacking of systems or what is not working and how to improve it, because there might be a lot of ways to improve your retention rate, but you might not be aware of it because you don't have that view, that perspective of how things are working within your client journey. There will be different departments involved. As you can see, there's some operations or marketing or customer service. There might be some finance processes. There will also be HR. So when service is delivered, of course, like to deliver service, you will have to hire people. So again, with the hiring, there will be some HR processes attached. How to create a job description, how to post a job ad on seek.com or whatever your HR advertising platforms is called. This will be just a base. And now that we have this outline, if we have some processes in place, we can start creating the processes for each task. And by looking at this, you might already have an idea of what the trigger can be and what the outcome you want. So you already have half of the information to write that process, SOP, or however you want to call it. Let's take as an example how to write a blog post on WordPress. Now, this is a marketing process. Let's imagine that like all the marketing process, well, this color, we will identify them and see what the marketing workload will look like. And that's how you then can create also job description, because you know that these are the jobs, these are the tasks that I need my marketing person to do. Create blog posts, schedule social media, run paid ads, and reach out to cold stakeholders, do cold email or phone calls, whatever that is. This will support you because then you will have the systems in place. You will know exactly what their role, what the marketing role will have to do, what the position you're hiring for. You will also have already the systems and processes there ready for them for the onboarding phase, so they can be trained around this, which means the time for them to be up and running and your return on investment will be better. You will be better off because they will get up and running earlier. They will require less one-on-one support. They will rely less on you and asking the same question over and over. And also they will become better at what they do faster because they have some documentation in place and they can go from there. So they can take it and basically run with it. I'm not going to create 1,000 processes, okay? So we just thought we identify what we need to fix. So once you go through this exercise, you might be able to say, oh, actually, we are not very good at posting blogs, or actually, our appointment reminders, there's a problem with that. So you already know where to start. You might have a feeling already like some things are not working properly, and then you can go and tackle that system straight up and just go and fix it. Just for sake of this presentation, I would like to create just one process so you can see what it will look like in once we double click on one of these little guys. So how to post a blog on WordPress. We have like a little checklist here. Look, you don't really have to use this checklist. This checklist is in place if you have some questions unanswered. I sometimes really don't use it, as I already have an understanding of what needs to be put in place. But again, if I find difficulties in answering some questions, then I go back, and if the system doesn't look right, I will go back and ask myself these questions. How to write a blog post on WordPress. So let's say that we will probably, this is a template, so we will make a copy and we'll call it how to post a blog on WordPress. And then the purpose is to basically post, create SEO and blog post content. I'm not trying to solve a specific problem unless like actually your SEO and blog post content is not working fine. Now, what triggers these systems? Again, you can have another system that you have put in place for your staff members to create blog posts. So you will have a system, and when you hire them, you say, all right, in your job description, there is also, you will have to create blog posts. And this is how you do it. You give them some guidelines, how to create a blog post. And then once they have created the blog post, they will inform the marketing manager or the marketing assistant, whoever works in your marketing department, that the blog post is ready to go. And so the marketing person can grab the blog post, open up this procedure, and the input, so the trigger will be team member notification about post ready. What is the desired outcome or final result? A SEO optimized blog post is published. Now, who will use the system? Marketing person, and then you will have probably like your titles. I'm just going to put this one now for simplicity. Now, process continuity. Who will pick up when the owner can't do it? It's important that we define this because we want to make sure that the blog posts get posted all the time. So we don't want to have them on hold just because the marketing person is on annual leave and is taking a vacation. So a marketing person, otherwise there will be a marketing assistant, and there will be a, let's say, admin support team. Steps and workflow. This is where we describe what to do, where we break the process into logical, actionable tasks. And now we don't have to use this document. We can even break it down because, again, you want to simplify the operation. You don't want the person that's running this task to have to go through this document because there are information that are not really relevant for them and perform the task. So you could simply create a new document and call it how to post a WordPress. And here you can add the link to process. And then in the link to process, which will be probably like another Google Doc, then we will have a process. Let's create one. So you see what it looks like. So it will basically be called the same, but this is the actual process. Okay. We can call it SOP or process, however you want to call it. And then here we will put like the trigger, the outcome, the frequency, the owner, stakeholders, and we'll put step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, open WordPress, duplicate blog post template, populate content from blog post document, blog post content document, sent from the therapist, update keywords, update images, update SEO information, alt image, internal links, image, internal links, keywords, etc., etc. Okay, so just so you have an idea. Then once we do this, we can actually go in to WordPress and do and take a screenshot, and we will screenshot and we'll add that one so it's even more clear where to go and what to do. And basically you will probably also have a login page. So step 1, open WordPress, login with username, etc., etc. You can use the password here. You can have like a different password register which is encrypted and a bit more secure, or you can just copy the password in this document. And this is how you explain what to do with different resources and tools that they might be using to be able to accomplish this task. Alrighty, so I think this will probably give you an idea on how to systemize your business. And now again, we don't need to create 1,000 processes. We just need to identify what isn't working or something that we might want to delegate. Again, I won't be creating multiple processes, as I said, but just so you have an idea, once the process is written, we will add it to a register, assign a frequency, owners, stakeholders, and basically this is what it will look like. We will have a marketing system, and so this will be the system name, description, frequency, link to resource, last updated because we updated, what's important, owner, and we can also call them like assign one, assign two, and now we know that this is the SOP, how to post, information on how to write a SEO optimized blog post. We do this like fortnightly, and then he will put the link to the resource. Last updated for 01/24. I will say Giordano, John Smith, and Carol, whatever. Okay, so this will be the register. So that means that like we'll have all the SOPs for marketing here. Then you can create different, if you want, different tabs. Again, you don't need fancy software. You can do this job in a spreadsheet. It's pretty simple, and you can still maintain things pretty organized. Now, once you have all the SOPs for marketing here, what happens, you will have like a routine checklist that the marketing person, when they come in the morning, they will go through it, check Facebook replies or check DMs, and you will have systems for all of those. And again, here we will have a task, link the process. We might have like the frequency, and then here when it's done, and then again, link the process. And you can like print this, laminate it, put on their desk, so every day when they come in, they can just tick things along, and they know that they're doing what they needs to be done. Done. Actually, we might want to put a date here. Date. Next date. We'll say 4th January, so 19/01/2025. And then when it's done, it will basically be marked done, and the date will be changed to the next fortnightly. So this is really a way to keep track of things. There are better ways, of course. There are automation that you can put in place. You can use a project management tool like Monday.com, like we do, to keep track. So all the information is automatically updated. But to start, you do not need this. Now, the next step will be to basically add on this one. So look at the journey, add more. If you think there are like more details that you need to add, something there is, something there isn't there, just based on what your business processes are and what your steps are, your client journey, just go with it. And yes, and that's about it. And there you have it. Building systems and processes for small businesses is not rocket science. Just remember to keep it simple, start small, and focus on the low-hanging fruit. Things that you know will give you a return on investment. Things that you know will make an improvement and will change the way you do things for the better. If this video sparked any ideas, don't let them sit idle. Take action and start build processes today, even if it's just on a piece of paper. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe so you won't miss my next one. Thank you.